Anorexia, boy in a girl's world. Anorexia is seemingly a girl's disease, and many people think that only girls can develop this kind of illness. But this documentary shows that it does highly affect boys as well as girls, and in some cases, it's more effective on young boys. This documentary follows 17-year-old Charles, who's going through rehab and trying to lead a normal life after dealing with anorexia. Documentary also goes through his relationships with his girlfriend, his friends from school, and his family, and how he's trying to get back to normal. I will be looking through the codes and conventions within this documentary and how it affected it and how it made the audience feel. The camera work that was mainly used was handheld, so you could see the camera following Charles everywhere he went, through the hospital, through his everyday life back at home, and how he was doing well with his girlfriend. Now, because it was mainly handheld, it made the documentary seem natural in a way. It kind of made it seem more real, and it made the audience feel like they were actually going through the journey with Charles, and it made them understand better about this kind of illness. It made them more aware. There were also a lot of close-ups on Charles, because this would highlight how he was feeling. You could see his facial expressions more clearly, and you could see how everything was affecting him. The people in the documentary weren't necessarily in costumes, but they did wear casual clothes, and this was because most of the people who were focused in the documentary were teenagers, and they were just wearing casual clothes like hoodies, tracksuit bottoms, jumpers, jeans. So everybody was wearing something kind of casual and just what everyday teenagers would wear. There were also some nurses featured in this documentary, and they were wearing their designated uniforms, or they were wearing smart clothing. This made them look professional, and it made the audience sort of believe that this is a real serious documentary focusing on the real issues. This also shows the natural environment of a hospital, as if you're going to a hospital you would see a nurse wearing her proper uniform. It made it seem more natural. And yeah, the editing within the documentary, you can notice there were a lot of jump cuts, so as soon as one scene ended there was no fancy transition to go into the next part of the documentary. It just jumped straight into it. This helps the documentary to run more smoothly and efficiently. I think this was a great decision for the documentary, because when it jumps straight into it, you can just you don't have to wait long to see what was happening. You don't have to the tension wasn't built up too much, so I thought this was really effective for the audience who was watching. And finally, the sounds that was used, there was a lot of ambient sounds, which are the sounds that are naturally made. So like, for example, in the documentary, when Charles was out with his girlfriend, you could hear the natural sounds of other people talking, other people walking, like the wind blowing, the trees like rustling. So that was used to show the type of environment that they were in at the time. There was quite a lot of use of non-deidetic sounds. So this is a sound that only the audience can hear who are watching the documentary. So, and this is commonly used in all documentaries to use as a way of sensing awareness or tension. This was very effective, I believe, onto the audience, because it made them feel the same way Charles might have felt when he was feeling a bit tense or a bit anxious as he was dealing with his anorexia.